Hello, my fellow humans. I finally made it. It's been almost 1 week since I arrived to Sydney, and now is the time to actually tell you everything. Today, I would like to talk about cycles of death and rebirth, then manifestation and meaningful connections. First, I have to start by explaining a little bit what happened. Also, for just like a digital diary. I already shared something in my speech from Amsterdam, but just like to sum up, what happened in my life is that I manifested everything that I wanted, and then I changed. I grew up, and I started to want other things. And then, in order to actually experience other things, I had to give up everything that I had before, with this hope that in the future I will be able to manifest again what I wanted. So this is like a very long story short. So what happened is that before coming here to Sydney, I on purpose did not look at how the city looks, what are the streets. So I had very basic understanding of just like a city layout because I was already looking for apartment. But I on purpose did not want to investigate a lot because then it just takes fun out of this journey. So I came to Sydney with no idea what's going to happen, with no expectations, because you know how we always promoted with this idea that it's better to not have expectations and see how it goes. And now I will tell you what I think about it, because now I realize that have no expectations means to actually throw yourself into something that you don't know, with a big chance that you will be disappointed because you don't actually know what you want to get from this experience. So I came here 6 days ago, just having a couple of inspections for my apartments, and zero connections, zero everything, just for you to understand. And then what happened is that basically the next day after arrival, weather changed. There was a sort of combination of wind plus La Nina. La Nina is like a cyclone of tremendous wind and rain and storm. So long story short, the weather was a disaster. It was so unpleasant. It was so gray. It felt like there is no point of going out of home. And me, as a person that likes to be outdoors, person that, of course, sometimes I can stay at home, but definitely not when I come to a new country, a place where I don't know anything. I still had to go out. So I was going out with my umbrella, looking at the gray sky. Everything seemed so ugly to me. Guys, you cannot understand. I was literally in shock because it was so different from what I did not expect. I I saw all the people ugly. I saw all the buildings ugly. I saw the layout of the city ugly, everything. But again, also to be fair, I actually only traveled. I mean, I only investigated this area of city center plus Bondi Beach. I didn't really go north or any surroundings. So I'm still very much in Surrey Hills. And what happened is that when you encounter yourself in the situation, you literally feel like you died, because everything that you knew before, everyone that you knew before, your routine, everything just died. You killed it yourself. So it's not like it just happened to me. I did it myself. So when I realized that, my God, I'm now in the death valley. I'm in the situation where I tend to have like a rush to fill my space with some interactions and something, and felt like, oh my God, I'm alone. Oh my God, I was overflowed with fears and like insecurities and like all sorts of different shadows. And I had to basically go through it. There was since I already understand how our body works a little bit, I knew that I have to go through this tremendous suffering and stress in order to progress into the next stage. So I literally had like a mini panic attacks. I cried every single day. I was just not myself. I was so scared that this will be my life and this is how I will be. And this sensation when you're in a place where you have no one and no one cares about you, exaggerated by your own fears, saying that this is how it is, this is who you are, you're no one, and all of this. And then what happened is that I realized that I skipped a very important part, which is manifestation. So manifestation is the process of attracting things that you really want into your life. In this process, uh, contrary to popular belief, it's not about just positive thinking and fake it till you make it and all these sorts of things. This process is more about aligning yourself with your vision and make actions in according to your own values. So what happened to me is that when I came here, because of this stressful situation, I started to use Tinder, I started to use Bumble, I started to kind of feel the rush of filling my life with something. And let me tell you, I don't like using dating apps for millions of reasons. I think many people don't really like it, but it doesn't really land well on my present version. So I've used it, of course, and I've met people and all of this. I have nothing against this thing in particular. It's just me personally, I feel that this is not how I want to attract people into my life. And I have a very, this is not how I want. So when you do things that you actually don't want because of the fear that you will not have another chance to do it other, so you will not have a chance to do it the other way, you start the negative spiral of actually not being aligned with who you are and what you want. And then there was another thing. I came here with good financial situation. I have no financial constraints at this point. But of course, I'm also not like this, right? So I need to be mindful of how I spend money because I don't know when. I actually applied for work yesterday, but again, in general, being mindful about how you spend money is a very good way of living. And what happened is that I took a bus a couple of times. I was trying to have this like very conservative, looking at every single price of everything. And again, looking at the prices of things is a good thing. It's educational. It's good. But what I realized also is that it doesn't really resonate with how I want to live life. And in reality, I don't even need to do this. So I was um, absolutely artificially putting constraints on myself and stressing myself out even more, telling myself that you are actually not allowed to spend and you now have to live this very small and very like, you got it. And again, there are people who are settling for this or who feel absolutely fine about going on the bus. It's perfect, no problem. For me personally, it makes me feel miserable. I do not want to live my life like this. Of course, if at some point I have no other, uh, way of transition, how you call it, of transporting myself through the city or whatever, of course I can. But artificially putting myself into the stressful situation and going on a bus actually makes me so miserable that I want to just finish my life. And if you ever like experienced suicidal thoughts, you know that this is not fun. But in my case, that mindset shift that I've got today, it just completely again changed me, and I feel, my god, oh my god, I feel so much myself again. Oh my god. The third thing, yes, so manifestation, it's really important. So let's also discuss this thing. I do not want to live life in a conventional way, thinking that life is a very rational thing that you need to think through and you need to be realistic about everything. And no, I live in the world of miracles. This was working for me till this day. And I don't know why, when I came here, I decided to think that I have to be very like conventional and be very like, no, 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 no. I love living with this like intimate relationship with my life, playing with it, seeing how far can I go. I mean, even the fact of me being here, this is also the the product, the outcome of me playing with life and see, maybe I could go to Australia. Maybe let's see where. Yeah. So I was in a very playful and safe state. When I came here, of course, it's a bit major stress. So it put me into this survival mode, which I don't enjoy. And luckily, at this point, I don't need to, I don't need to have it. I can like actually still be playful and flirt with life. So manifesting things that you really want, this is something that gives the spark to your life. And even if today, for example, nothing actually happened, I feel like, yes, I had a couple of interactions, but this day was not so much about you living, about out, how you call it, this day was not so much about outputs. This was more about input from myself about, hold on, why you're putting yourself in so much stress, why you're telling yourself that you're a poor girl being alone in this big city that you don't like, why are you creating this storyline that like no one benefits this storyline. And most of the times when people create a negative storyline in their head, it's again can be cured by the change of perspective and finding a playful and like flirting approach to life. So I still did not finish my full manifestation. Of course, before even doing all of this, I had my journaling and everything, but now I want to align myself again with what I want. And what I really came here to do is to build meaningful connections with people all around the world, create my own tribe, my community, find a partner, my soulmate, my life partner who will create projects and humans together and experience ultimate wealth and pleasure of existence. And I will not settle for less. So I don't know, this might take years, and it doesn't mean that when you say those things out loud then you never experience pain. It's actually the opposite. Me or you or like us encountering triggering painful situations and looking at them from different perspective of how you encounter like the block, like limiting beliefs and blocks and um, all the ways that you play small and you act out of fear, not out of love. All of those are signals to you to actually wake up and choose better, choose different. So yeah, I I I I promise to myself and to this life that we're not here settling for shit. We are not here to play games of others, of society, of norms. We are here to do beautiful things, create beautiful memories, experiences, share love, receive love, and just be ecstatic. Like, really, like, amen, 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 amen. And I think there was one thing I wanted to say is that when you encounter yourself in this death valley, when everything that you were and you knew just like disappeared and you're like in this between the stories, I feel like it's also very important to remember that life is not always about output. It's not about spending your energy and constantly like anxiously trying to fill yourself up with things or with experiences. Sometimes there is this beautiful period when you actually can really like nurture your energy and save it and like kind of put yourself into this meditative sleep and just see your life unfold again in a natural way, with no rush, with no fear that if you don't make a action now, nothing will happen and you will not do it. Because do you understand what I mean? There was this idea that like if you don't do it, no one will do it for you. You have to, like, be proactive, and you do, but in a more gentle and patient way. So there is a time to act and there is a time to slow down and look around and listen. And maybe those periods of silence and kind of death and emptiness are not even less beautiful. Those are very beautiful moments where you just recharge and you stay in your own presence and listen, deeply listen to what is aligned with who you are, who you want to be, what you're calling for, you know? So yeah, I will keep you posted. I'm now in the process of finding my apartment. I think I have to start actually filming inspection. So what happened is that I was in such a bad mood, in such a survival mode. I literally didn't want to do any, like, any of like video or anything. And I don't think I managed to film a lot of inspections, but I probably will make another video talking about how this whole story of renting apartment in Sydney went. And yeah, maybe I'll give some tips on how it can be done for people like me that just came from abroad and they don't have any rental history. And yeah, I'm so fulfilled today, and I fulfilled myself. No one fulfilled me. I fulfilled myself, and I will keep doing it. So thank you so much for joining me in this journey, and yeah, see you in the next one. Bye.